Hi, everybody. Welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Alex.
So today we're going to be talking about a special kind of tea, an unusual kind of drink. Are you much of a tea drinker, Alex?
You know, sometimes I do prefer coffee.
Okay.
But I like tea sometimes.
Yeah, I tend to drink tea in the morning and coffee as a sort of afternoon keep me awake thing, sort of. But I will happily drink either. So this kind of tea is called chai tea. It's quite an interesting one. Have you tasted it?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, what do you think?
It is very interesting. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's got, as we'll find out, it's got kind of a different flavour. It comes from India. So let's read through our article, find out what this kind of tea is and what it's all about.
Yeah. Have you ever been to India, Pat?
I have not, but I have often wanted to go. I was just telling you this lunchtime, my grandmother was born there, so there's some family history there for me to go and look for it. How about yourself?
That sounds really interesting. I've never been, but I have a lot of friends who have been, and they say it's really cool.
All right, let's read through the article and see what we've got.
Reading.
We can't get enough of sweet spiced chai. Life gets busy, and for many people, there isn't a better way to relax than with sweet spiced chai. This powerful mix of tea, herbs, and spices is enjoyed around the world. Yet it's a drink in India. It's a part of life there. Most Indians drink chai at least twice a day. This habit was by the British, who began producing large quantities of tea in India in the 1820s. English tea often called for milk and sugar. Indians added spices as well to create masala chai. In India, greeting a guest with a cup of chai is a social custom. In fact, if a person an offer of tea, they'll likely offend their host. That's because chai has become a sign of hospitality. It is used to build. No wonder so many people enjoy taking a break from what they're doing to drink chai and chat.
So the article begins by saying, life gets busy, and for many people, there isn't a better way to relax than with sweet, spiced chai. Okay, so we already know from that sentence that chai is it's a sweet drink. It's also a spicy drink. We'll get onto that in just a moment. First, we're going to look at the word relax. Relax is a verb. It's spelled R-E-L-A-X, relax. And to relax means to rest from work or other activities so that you become less tired or less worried about something. We can also just use the word relax to mean become just less anxious or nervous. Like if you were waiting for a job interview, you'd be nervous, you'd be biting your nails, you wouldn't be able to sit down and sit still, so someone might say, hey, relax, don't worry. So it doesn't mean rest there, it just means be more calm, be less worried. Here's an example sentence. Jake can't wait for his vacation to start. He just wants to relax in the sun for a week.
The article goes on to say, this powerful mix of tea, herbs, and spices is enjoyed around the world. Let's take a look at that word mix. It's a noun. M-I-X. Mix. And it means two or more different things put together. You use this whenever you have, let's say, a bag of different things.
Yeah.
Like candies. If you've gone to the store and you got many different things put together, that is a mix.
Yeah, I guess we could also talk about, you can buy like a cake mix, can't you? Where you've got like the sugar, the flour, it's all ready mixed together. Because, of course, mix can be a verb. You can mix things together to make a mix.
Exactly.
Okay, so here we've got a mix of tea, herbs and spices. So let's look at the first one of those. Tea, we know, is just tea plants and tea leaves that have been dried.
Yep.
Herbs. Now, I say herb. In the UK, most people will say herb. In the UK, I believe herb is more common. You don't pronounce the H so much. But I heard that you did, so maybe it depends.
I think it's regional, even within the UK or the US.
So some
I think
people will.
Most of the time, Americans will say herb. And depending on where you're from in the UK, you might drop the H.
That's true.
Like you do with a lot of words.
Yes, yeah.
And
if you were being more casual, put some herbs in it. Yeah, that would be more casual. But either way, a herb or an herb is any plant with leaves, seeds, or flowers that is used for flavoring food or putting in medicine or even making perfume. For example, basil or basil, again, different pronunciations for different countries. Basil or basil is a herb commonly used in cooking. Get it in a lot of Italian dishes and in Taiwan as well. It's quite a common herb here.
Or in Thai food.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's herbs. What about spices?
Spice is another word that is, again, a noun. S-P-I-C-E. Spice. We use for another kind of plant or any of lots of kinds of plants that are used to add strong flavors to food. We get the word spicy from the word spice.
Okay.
But spice can also mean other kinds of things that we add to food to give it a strong flavor. Not just peppers, but also cinnamon, for instance.
Yeah, I guess we think of spice and spicy as hot, but it's not always a hot flavor. It's just a strong flavor.
Yeah.
Do you like spicy food? Is that something you
enjoy? I do
enjoy?
like spicy food, yeah. I think it's nice.
Okay, so we've got an example sentence for that one.
We do. Indian food is known for using lots of spices. People in Indian cooking use a lot of spices.
Yeah, that's right. You definitely use, and again, it's not always hot. It's sometimes it's to sort of disguise the fact that the meat may not quite be as fresh. I think that's maybe originally why a lot of spices were used. I mean, these days it's more about the flavor. But there you go. Okay, now it's interesting that you mentioned Indian food there, because that's kind of where we're getting onto with the next sentence, which is, yet it's more than just a drink in India, so chai tea, it's more than just a drink in India, it's part of life there. So it's like an everyday thing.
Yeah. It says here, most Indians drink chai at least twice a day.
Okay, now
so
that's
it is every day and often.
2 a day, 1 in the evening, at least twice, so morning, evening, afternoon, whenever. The article goes on and says, this habit was influenced by the British, who began producing large quantities, that's large amounts of tea, in India in the 1820s. Now, for a long time, India was ruled by Britain. It was part of the British Empire from 1858. And even before that, it was run by British business companies. And those were the ones who thought, this is great for growing tea. Let's make lots of tea here. We want to drink it. We can sell it back home. And that kind of got the Indians into drinking lots and lots of tea as well.
Yeah. Now, the article says, English tea, often called for milk and sugar. That's the way English people like to drink it.
Often, yep.
Though Indians added spices as well to create masala chai. Call for is a phrasal verb here that means to require or ask for. English people prefer to drink their tea with milk and sugar.
More often, yeah. I take it black myself, but most people I know go for milk, sugar, or both.
So the way that we can use call for is any time when we think something needs something. If I look outside and I see that it looks like it might rain today, I might say, oh, this calls for an umbrella.
Exactly.
I'm going to need to bring my umbrella with me to work that day.
Okay, so we've got the English are adding milk and sugar, and then we find the Indians added spices as well. And we use this phrase as well to mean to add extra information, to show that something extra, something additional is included. So we could say this cake is made with just butter, sugar, eggs, and flour, though I added some chocolate as well. Okay, and so they created this thing called masala chai.
Mm-hmm. And masala is another word here. It's a noun. It comes from Indian languages, and it just means here a mix of spices. It's a word that we see on menus in Indian restaurants.
That's right, yeah.
And it doesn't have to mean any one mix in particular, and any one mix and not anything else. It means a mix of spices.
Okay, so
when
any mix.
So when we see here masala chai, it's
like mix of spices tea. Yeah.
Exactly, chai tea with a mix of spices in it.
Okay, so let's get back to the article where it says, in India, greeting a guest with a cup of chai is a social custom. So it's something that people do. That's a social custom. We also see the verb greet, G-R-E-E-T, greet. And to greet someone is to recognize them, or to welcome someone when you meet them, or say hi. You could greet someone just by saying, hey, Alex, how's it going? That's that's to greet someone. In this case, greet more means to receive someone into your home or your place of business as a welcome guest. So they're coming to visit you and you meet them at the door. You say, hello, come in, take a seat, and so on. That is greeting them. And in India, they do that with a cup of chai. It's part of the culture. Here's another example. Jessica greeted her guests at the front door and invited them into her living room.
Yeah, and the article says here, in fact, if a person refuses an offer of tea, they'll likely offend their host.
Okay, so it's it's polite to take it.
Oh, yeah. It would be impolite not to.
Yeah.
Here the word offer is a noun, O-F-F-E-R, offer. It means a show of wanting to give something to someone. When someone comes to your home, you offer them chai, in this case. You show that you want to give it to them. And as we said, it is polite to take it. An example sentence could be, George saw that his friend needed a hand and made an offer to help.
Okay.
Now, offer can also be a verb.
Sure.
If we say you offer something to someone, but in this sentence, it's a noun. You make an offer.
And we can also use that with other verbs. You can make an offer. You could receive an offer. You could, in this case, the article says refuse an offer, although that would offend your host. Offend is a verb, and to offend someone means that you say or do something to make that person upset or angry. For example, Betty was offended by Kevin's comments about women drivers.
That's right. And when we say that you might offend your host by not accepting the offer of their chai, the article says here, that's because chai has become a sign of hospitality. And hospitality is sort of an idea. It is the idea of being friendly to people who are your guests and trying to give them things and make sure they are sort of happy and comfortable and well-fed. You show hospitality by giving your guests things that you think they might want or need.
Yeah, you kind of say like, okay, yeah, do you need the bathroom? It's just up there. Can I get you a drink? Are you hungry? All that sort of stuff. We also learned that that's chai, tea, it is used to build connections. So it's kind of a social thing. You sit down, you have a cup of chai together, and, that's like breaking the ice. And you discuss business, discuss whatever, discuss sport, and you kind of become friends or partners, or, you do some business over this tea.
Exactly. So the article says, no wonder so many people enjoy taking a break from what they're doing to drink chai and chat.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, who wouldn't? Just like, hey, let's have a nice cup of spicy kind of tea, sit down and talk a bit. Now, here we see this phrase, take a break, which could also be take a break from something. That is today's shortcut for you. So right now, we're going to take a break and listen as our friends explain what this phrase means and how to use it.
Shortcut for you.
I'm so tired. How many boxes of stuff do you have?
I
don't think you want to know the answer to that question.
This must be why no one else wanted to help you move. You own way too much stuff.
I don't think it's that much. It's only 35 boxes.
What? 35? We've only moved 7 so far. I think we should take a break.
Wait. Don't drop that box or you will break everything in it.
Don't worry. This box is safe with me. Take a break means to stop doing something for a short period of time.
I'm glad take a break means 休息一会儿. I thought you were going to break my things because you were angry.
Of course not. I'm not angry, but I am tired. Also, I'm hungry.
After we'd finished moving these boxes, I'll buy you dinner.
Does that mean we have to finish all these boxes first?
Yep.
Oh.
Hi guys, welcome back. So just to explain again, to take a break or to take a break from something means to stop doing something for a short period of time. You could stop working, stop studying, you could stop playing the game that you're doing or the TV shows that you're watching and just do something else or just relax and do nothing for a short period. For example, let's take a break and start the meeting again at 4 p.m. So it seems like in India, people, they're at work and someone says, hey, who fancies some chai? And they sit down and they chat.
Right. So let's reread that last sentence from the article and take a look at some other things in it. No wonder so many people enjoy taking a break from what they're doing to drink chai and chat. To chat is a verb. C-H-A-T, chat. And it means to talk in a friendly way about usually nothing too important. You might sit and chat about soccer.
Yep.
Or a movie you just saw.
Or something that's in the news, that sort of stuff. Even the weather. It's a very British thing to do. We chat about the weather.
Very surprising because it's always the same.
Yeah, it's always bad, but you can complain about it. And, complaining is a way to build connections and bring people together as well.
That's, there's nothing more British than sitting down, having a cup of tea, and complaining that it's cold and wet outside.
That's right. You're making me get homesick right now. Okay, so let's look at an example sentence for chat.
Yeah, and an example sentence for chat could be, after school, Johnny and his friends sit in the 7-Eleven and chat about sports and TV shows.
Yeah.
So if you've just seen the latest episode of this TV show that you and your friends all like, you can sit down and chat with them about it and say, oh my God, did you see the newest episode?
I couldn't believe it.
Wow. Wow.
Exactly. Now, of course, some people might think that, hey, you can't chat at work, that's bad, but this is kind of a thing. You take a short break, you chat, you get back to work, and it helps the day pass, puts you in a better mood. So I would say it's okay to chat a little bit at work.
Exactly. And, if you don't build connections with your coworkers and you don't get along a little bit, it might get hard to do work,
Yeah,
right?
It's harder to work together if you don't talk to people, if you're just stuck there on your own for so many hours. So chatting is a way to get rid of that. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of this article. So now we're going to concentrate a little more on chatting because it's now time for today's For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So today's chat question is, how could a food or drink affect a person's mood? So we've talked about chai kind of being a social thing and making you feel, connected to each other, or offending you if someone refuses to have some chai with you. What other examples can we think of?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, lots of people... there are some drinks and foods that must affect your mood because lots of people have coffee in the morning to sort of wake you up, get you ready to do work. It sort of becomes a part of what people do every day.
Yeah.
You get into that habit of you wake up, you have a cup of coffee, you're going to do that every day.
Yeah, and it's true that if you don't then get that coffee, you can end up with a headache or feeling grumpy.
Right, you don't feel that well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another way that it affects your mood.
It does. It goes both ways. Now, I know that chocolate and spicy food we talked about earlier, and a lot of kinds of junk food, when you eat them, they release chemicals that make you happier. In fact, they're the same chemicals that are released when you're falling in love. So any of this kind of eating junk food, spicy food, stuff that you know isn't really that good for you, but is so delicious, it does bring up your mood. It does put you in a kind of better mood.
Yeah, though, for myself, with junk food, I often find it feels good when I'm eating it, and then when I'm done, doesn't feel as good anymore.
Don't feel quite so happy.
But I definitely agree about chocolate. I really like, even just small pieces of dark chocolate as a way to sort of relax and get a bit of energy.
Okay. Well, those are just a couple of examples of foods that can affect your mood. There are plenty more out there. Have a look, have a chat about them. But we're out of time, so thank you everybody for listening to us today. For English for You, I'm Pat.
And I'm Alex.
We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We can't get enough of sweet spiced chai. Life gets busy, and for many people, there isn't a better way to relax than with sweet spiced chai. This powerful mix of tea, herbs, and spices is enjoyed around the world. Yet it's more than just a drink in India, it's a part of life there. Most Indians drink chai at least twice a day. This habit was influenced by the British, who began producing large quantities of tea in India in the 1820s. English tea often called for milk and sugar, though Indians added spices as well to create masala chai. In India, greeting a guest with a cup of chai is a social custom. In fact, if a person refuses an offer of tea, they'll likely offend their host. That's because chai has become a sign of hospitality. It is used to build connections. No wonder so many people enjoy taking a break from what they're doing to drink chai and chat.
Vocabulary Review.
Relax. Jake likes to relax by reading books or watching TV. Mix. This drink is actually a mix of 3 different fruits, honey, and milk. Spice. The dishes in this restaurant are full of spices. That's what gives them their great taste. Offer. I made Charles an offer for the house he's selling. Chat. Lisa and Anne had lunch and chatted for hours before leaving the restaurant.